Secret £850 million Afghan relocation scheme revealed. Hundreds of millions of pounds have been spent on a secret scheme to relocate Afghan victims of a data leak to the UK, it can be revealed. Around 19,000 Afghan nationals who helped support British forces had their personal details revealed when a dataset was mistakenly sent in an insecure email in February 2022. The people included in the leaked list had applied for the Afghan Relocations and Assistance Policy, (ARAP). The scheme involved relocating nationals who had worked for or with the UK government and were therefore at risk of reprisals once the Taliban returned to power in Kabul in 2021. Judges said last year that between 80,000 and 100,000 people could be at risk of harassment, torture, or death if the Taliban obtained the data in the breach. More than 2 years after the breach, in April 2024, 3 months before the 2024 election, a secret relocation scheme called the Afghanistan Response Route was set up. Sign up to Metro's politics newsletter, Alright Gov? Craig Monroe breaks down Westminster chaos into easy-to-follow insight, walking you through what the latest policies mean to you. Sent every Wednesday. Sign up here. It is understood this program has cost around £400 million so far and is projected to cost around £850 million once completed. It took more than a year for the Ministry of Defense to become aware of the data breach, which was the result of an apparent mistake by a defense official. The extent of the issue was discovered when excerpts from the dataset were posted to a Facebook group in August 2023. Shortly after the information was posted, a civilian volunteer who worked with ARAP applicants told James Heapy, then Armed Forces Minister, the Taliban may well now have a 33,000-long kill list, essentially provided to them by the UK government. If any of these families are murdered, the government will be liable. Until today, no details about the relocation scheme were allowed to be reported by the media or revealed in Parliament due to a court superinjunction. Why are we only learning about the ARR now? Details of the scheme can only be revealed now, after an unprecedented superinjunction was lifted. The court order prevented the media, Parliament, and the public from finding out about the Afghanistan response route. It is thought to be the first time the government has ever used such an order against the media. Court documents show the Ministry of Defense only initially asked for the superinjunction to stay in place for 4 months. But it took more than 2 years for it to finally be lifted at the High Court today. Defense Secretary John Healey has said he offered a sincere apology on behalf of the government. He told MPs, "This serious data incident should never have happened. It may have occurred 3 years ago under the previous government, but to all those whose information was compromised, I offer a sincere apology today on behalf of the British government, and I trust the Shadow Defense Secretary, as a former defense minister, will join me." Healey was briefed on the situation when he was serving as Shadow Defense Secretary in opposition, but was unable to tell his party leader Sir Keir Starmer due to the superinjunction. A Downing Street spokesperson later revealed Starmer only learned about the situation after he became Prime Minister last July. James Cartledge, the current Shadow Defense Secretary, echoed Healey's apology on behalf of the Conservatives, who were in power when the breach took place and was discovered. He told the House of Commons, "The Secretary of State has issued an apology on behalf of the government, and I join him in that, and in recognizing that this data leak should never have happened and was an unacceptable breach of all relevant data protocols. And I agree it is right that an apology is issued specifically to those whose data was compromised." Rafi Hattak, an activist who previously worked as an interpreter for the British Army in Afghanistan, told Metro, "This data breach is a shocking betrayal by the UK government. They failed to protect the very people who risked everything to support British missions in Afghanistan. Lives have already been lost, and others remain in grave danger. Accountability and immediate action are urgently needed." Hamisa Kohistani, who chairs the Afghan refugee charity the Roshan Foundation, said the breach was not just an administrative error but a catastrophic moral failure. She told Metro, "The fact that sensitive personal details of ARAP applicants were shared in a Facebook group where they could have easily been accessed by Taliban is both reckless and grossly negligent. It puts thousands of real human beings, not just names in a database, at risk."